Welcome to this week's episode of Ginger Bros Dent Show. We're your hosts, Brandon Schmitz and Andy Patrick. Got an exciting show tonight. Y'all help us welcome Mr. Matt Boyette with All Out PDR in Jacksonville, Florida, and Dent Slayer Tools. Join us as we get to know Matt just a little bit better tonight, see what he likes to do outside of the PDR world, and maybe he'll reveal something to us about if he's bringing anything new to MTE. Let's find out. First, a word from our sponsor.
I've been working on my yoga. Oh. Guys, I weigh 204 pounds. That's crazy.
All right, Corey, taking the challenge, man. Solar Blitz. And I don't do yoga. But I can balance on it. Maybe. You're 204, my 220. We got it, buddy.
Your seat right here. Come on over and join me, Jimmy.
Oh, come over and join.
It's so comfortable. Solar Blitz is a very comfortable chair.
Yeah, it's a very comfortable chair.
So, that's both of us. I had about probably 300 or 400 pounds of pressure on it.
How much do you weigh?
I'm about 215, 220.
Fat.
Yeah.
But that's pretty crazy. Y'all should check out Solar Blitz. It's like the bomb.
How
like
about
the bomb.
that? It's like the bomb. How do you like that intro? That was pretty
I
good.
love it. Corey's like, he's been
Down
on
to-
the show and he's made several commercials too. Like he's just, he's all over the place. I love it.
I
He's the
saw
first to
him
comment, as
post
usual.
that. Yep, I saw him post that yesterday, and I had it. I had to do it today on the bedside. And I was like, "Oh, let me try this." After lunch, I knock on the window. I told Mandy, I was like, "Hey, come out here." She's like, "What?" I was like, "Video me." Then of course, I
gotta
had
do
to-
this.
I had to send it to him, and then send it to Jeremy, and Jeremy put it all together. So look good, Jeremy, man. Appreciate it. So yeah, this month sponsored, of course, by Collision Glue Systems, guys. So guys and gals, so y'all go check them out. Get the glue, Sagan, Yale, Collision. Solar Blitz, and then of course,
Phoenix Fire.
mine's gone. Phoenix Fire. I was talking to Jeremy about that today. I haven't even had a use for that yet because Solar Blitz gets everything out for me right now on that big stuff.
Jeremy, I know he's on here watching. Does he have a booth at MTE?
He's supposed to. I know he is. I know he's doing stuff there, and he's got a couple surprises and stuff.
Is he gonna have the truck?
He's gonna have the truck there. Yeah,
yeah, he's got a booth.
Yeah.
He just commented he's got it. So
there you go. So
what's up,
That's
Bonnie?
first time
Dragos, Tim Green, Jeremy. He's got his name up. As a matter, that's awesome.
he's got his name up, and he's actually he got on here on time. I think it's because I reminded him that we're actually Central Standard Time and not Eastern. He's always getting in at the end of the show. So, hey, Bonnie, can't wait to see y'all.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, Mandy's on here and everybody else. So, awesome show tonight. Yeah, maybe a couple surprises. MTE.
Nice. Yeah, I'm pumped about the show. Smart ass. It's gonna be a good show.
So, yeah.
Had the pleasure of meeting our guest tonight at Matt Moore's meetup and had some great conversation. Just an overall great dude and badass tech. And he was showing us the shop. It's clean and nice. And I think the world of Matt Boyette already and just barely met him. So
Yeah, I've gotten to know him a little bit. He's in a group with me that kind of like your 20 group, but for a while we were having Zoom meetings with Christopher Allen. He kind of started the whole thing, him and Matt. And so anyway, it was nice. On Friday nights we'd have those conversations. So hey, I do want to let everybody know we have these beautiful things in And so if
Those
you
things
want
look
one of
good, too.
these, they're all going to be at the show. So y'all come get them. Plus, we got tons of stickers too. So we're excited. I'm excited about it. We're
I'm
only,
excited.
just over a week away. Actually, less than a week away. So yeah.
Yep. This time next week we'll be down there. This will be we get in Tuesday night, so this will be our second night down there. This time next week.
It'll be my first. I'll be driving down Wednesday.
Okay.
So I'm not part of the PDR 20 group. I gotta mess with you every time on that.
I love it.
So yeah,
Master
hey, we
Dragos
got
wants a blue koozie, and Corey Nichols asked if they came with free beer.
I'll give Corey one. Yeah, I'll give him a free beer and one.
There you go.
Whoever buys me a free beer, hey, I'll pass it on in a koozie to Corey.
I'm cheaper. You can buy me a water, and I'll give you a koozie. We're good to go.
So yeah, our guest tonight, Matt Boyette, All Out PDR. If you're not following Matt and his company, and of course Dent Slayer tools, if you're not buying those tools and using them, you're missing out on both.
Yes.
Got a great company, very successful. We got to meet several of his employees at Matt's meetup, and they're all just I hate this phrase, but it's true. They're all stand-up guys.
Yeah, they're genuine. You can tell they're genuinely good guys and stuff. Like, it was easy
great
to carry on a
guys.
conversation with them. And
so yeah, let's bring old Matt in here. What's up, brother?
What's going on, guys? How are y'all?
All right. I love that sign
Hey,
behind your head. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's what I was about to say. I love it. Now, does it light up?
This one does not. I have another one that does, but I just rigged up some LEDs behind it. It's expensive to get them where they light up, but I'm pretty handy. I just haven't done this one yet. I got the LEDs for it, but yeah, it's plexiglass, so it'll backlight. It looks really cool.
That's what I was looking at earlier when I was trying to do the video and stuff. I was like, man, I like that sign.
Yeah, I can turn you on to my sign guy.
You got a sign guy, a neon guy. That's
not
me
neon,
the office.
just that.
You got a video guy. You got a sign guy.
Got a Google
we already
guy.
like your video guy.
Yeah, your video guy's awesome. We was talking to him today.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. I've known him a long time. He's a PDR guy, so he understands what you're looking for, and so that helps a lot in some of those things.
I love the well, he shared a video in a group that we're in on text, but it's the one
80s
with
throwback.
The BMW you did.
Yeah, the 93.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the way he did the video, he was like, "Hey, this is my '80s throwback or whatever." What do y'all think? I was like,
"Well, that's because in the video I said it was an '89, but it's really a '90. It's a '93." So I didn't know. So I'm getting all this flack. I got all these comments about that's not an '89. An '89 is this, and I'm like, "Oh gosh!" Like I really wasn't even paying attention when I said it, but everybody else does. They'll call you on it,
Yeah, Kevin Bird saying it too. He says great video. So that is how do you pronounce it's James? How do you pronounce his last name? I always
Richie.
screw it up. James Richie.
Yep.
Black Pelican Media. Y'all guys go check him out. He's putting some great stuff out there. Like I'm really impressed with the videos he's done. He sent us the one, I think one of the first ones where he's kind of interviewing you and stuff. And that video, I was like, holy shit. I started sending it to everybody. I was like, y'all got to see this video. Like, it's the real deal. So.
Every video that I've unless it's some little dumb thing, you could tell. But any real good looking video that's on my Instagram and my face or on my Instagram, he's done. There's a video on my website that when people call me, they're like, "I saw your video and I just quit calling anyone else." Like that video gets me more work than almost anything. As soon as they see that video, they're sold on my story.
That's
James
awesome.
did that video, just really good. Just really good. As a PDR guy, he understands how it needs to, the storyboard, so to speak, of how it needs to play out in order to make sense. And so he's just a good friend of mine, man. We used to work at Dent Wizard together, and we go way back. And he's helping me out with some of my social media stuff. He's trying to kind of expand into that a little bit. So
nice.
We have a good relationship. So
yeah, that's awesome. He's supposed to do our intro video, but we ain't seen him the stuff to do it. So yeah, we got a great idea. We just haven't done it yet. So I'm hoping maybe we can get down to MTE, do a little filming and stuff, and play around with that, and have our intro video ready to roll. Maybe. I don't know
It's
how
kind of
crazy
like
MTE
this.
is
Think
too.
about like this, and I'm not speaking for James. I'm just guessing. Like when you do a dent, you want to do it from front to beginning. You don't want to go over somebody else's work, right? You want to start that dent from.
Yep.
And I think with him, when it comes to any of that stuff, he wants to do all of it. Meaning, he wants to do the video shooting. He wants to grab it all and own all of that. Not take other people's videos and try to put things together because it's not speaking directly to his work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
So
And we may have to get with him down there at MTE to do what we're wanting. Maybe we'll talk to him beforehand.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
That may be a great, because that's about the only time me and Andy are going to be together where he's there. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
The
and
only
it really
time.
won't. And it really won't take long to do what we want to do. So
No, not at all. Well, anyways, you mentioned Dent Wizard. You want to tell a little bit about your background, how you got into PDR, and how long you've been pushing?
Sure, man. So I started in '98 with a company here in Jacksonville. I was washing cars at a body shop, and body shop manager wanted me to clean a car that had broken glass and blood in the back. And I'm like, I'm getting out of this business. Like, I ain't cleaning that, and I'm looking for something else. So I'm getting out of the body shop. Glass and blood don't go well, you know what I mean?
Not at all.
Not at all. So I'm like, yeah, that ain't gonna fly. So anyhow, one of my roommate actually, Shane Hood, who's a local PDR guy here still, his company's Dent Star, but he actually started. We were roommates at the time, and he did some calls and found a local company here called Automotive Dent Specialist, and he actually got a job with them. He was working at the body shop with me too. And so he quit there, got a job with ADS, and we were roommates. And he would just apprentice during the day, and he would train on the hoods at night in the garage, just hitting the center of X's. That's all we did. Hit like 50 X's a night was your homework after you apprenticed all day. And so he's coming home and he's doing that. And, I'd get off work and I'm in the garage and we're hanging out. I'm like, man, I'm going to try that. And then the owners would come over in the evening and they would want to see your progress and check out your work and what you're doing. And so I got to know some of the owners just from them being in my garage, and I was messing around with the hood too. And so they were like, "Hey man, if you want a job after he's doing apprenticeship, we'll hire you, right on." And so I'm like, "Yes." And so as soon as he went through his apprenticeship, they brought me on. I apprenticed. That was in March '98-ish, something like that. And then let's see, that company at the time, they had interior. It's kind of weird because if I think about it, then didn't seem that big to me. But now, like doing my own business, it was a big business. And they had a paint division. They had like 4 or 5 painters. They had 3 interior people, and they had like 10 PDR technicians, which is a huge company. I mean, by any standard now, really. They got bought by Dent Wizard in 2000 when Dent Wizard decided to rebuy all their franchises, because Dent Wizard used to be just franchised out. And so they acquired that company in 2000, and then they purchased us, and I was property of Dent Wizard, and they sent me up to retrain on their processes, and so then I became property.
Don't you hate that? It's like, I'm property of. That's why I love having my own business, because I'm nobody else's property besides my wife, but I'm nobody else's property. Oh man.
They came in. I mean, I came into an office. I didn't see it coming as far as the buyout. They didn't tell us anything. And we just came into the office one day and they sat us down. They're like, listen, and I was a brand new 2-year technician. And they were like, listen, Dent Wizard owns the company now. And if you want to fix dents again in your career, you got to work for Dent Wizard. You can decide not to, but you can't fix dents in town again for 2 years at least. And I'm like, I was 22 at the time. And I'm like, I just got into this. I was all excited and stuff. And I'm like, well, I don't want to not do that. Like, okay. So I signed up, and I'm glad I did. And don't get me wrong, I did. And I learned a lot from Dent Wizard, and I grew tremendously with Dent Wizard. And some guys just dropped some names that really changed it for me was Garrett Griffith.
Love Garrett.
He was so amazing. He came in and I think he like more than doubled my billing the first month with Dent Wizard. And I'm talking, he was ripping out headliners with me. Like, I don't mean he just came in and told me. He came in and he's not a PDR guy.
No, he don't mind getting dirty though. He's a sales guy.
He was ripping out headliners and Mitsubishi Eclipse quarter panels, and he's pulling stuff apart. And he just kind of blew my socks off. And then another guy, Jeff Byerly, who worked with him, then he's Interior Magic now. I don't know what he's doing currently, but Garrett Griffith and Jeff Byerly really changed the game for me with Dent Wizard. And then I really kind of bought into like, okay, you guys convinced me. And I was with Dent Wizard route here in Jacksonville until 2012. I stopped the end of 2012, and 2013 I went chasing hail full time for Dent Wizard, and I did that up until 2019, and then which was my 20-year mark with Dent Wizard. It was actually my 22-year mark pushing dents, but it was 20 years with Dent Wizard, and I really wanted to make that. It meant a lot to me to hit that 20. Like, that was just a personal thing for me. I don't want to walk away until I hit that 20. And so I did. And then I called my boss and I said, hey man, I'm done. He's like, wow, what happened? What's the matter? I'm like, nothing's the matter. It's just time. It's like, it's just time for me to move on. I'm not mad at nobody. Nobody, made me mad. It's just time for the next chapter. And he wished me well. And I started all out, January 1st of 2020, and like, talk about bad timing for to start your own business.
Right at a pandemic. Let's go.
Right into COVID, and it's like, oh my gosh. But we've been growing in the midst of it. That's what's cool though, man. It's like, despite that, when we started in 2020, I was literally by myself. I walked away from Dent Wizard. I had zero accounts. I didn't do any pre-prospecting. Because I kind of knew I could do it, honestly. And I walked away from Dent Wizard, had no accounts, and now here we are, and we have 2 retail locations, and we have 5 technicians within the company, and that's within 2 years. And that's during COVID, right? So we're excited to see what's going to happen, where we're going. We're excited to see once we get through some of this bull crap of where the country's at, and we're hoping we can get through this and really get a good idea of what our business can do without our hands being tied behind our back with the car industry and whatever.
That kind of, Dan Rikiki's asking, what kind of, is Jacksonville a saturated market? We've heard that before. Like, it's very tech heavy down that area.
It is, and I'll tell you why. Is because one reason I would attribute to that. One is because there was a lot of us that were Dent Wizard. Dent Wizard had a huge market here, and then we all basically quit at the same time and started our own company. Like, literally, like 6 of us. It wasn't organized, but you could almost say it was organized. I mean, there was like 6 of us who quit at the same time. And
there was a manager who lost their job that day.
He quit. He does not work with them no more.
He
was like, I ain't hitting the budget. And so he walked. But so, yeah, there's a lot of it. So it is a saturated market, but a lot of them are friends that I would call friends. And we work together really well. And we grew up. I mean, I was roommates with the next biggest PDR company in town, I would say, forever. And I trained with them, and our kids are friends. And so it's saturated, but we work well with each other. And I think that's how you do it. That's my strategy here is, obviously you got to be competition, but there's how you're going to be competition with them is the big question, right?
Right.
And you have to decide that. And, I'll just tell you frankly, like right after I quit, the day I quit, I called my boss And then I called my mom and a couple other people. And the next thing I did was called my good friends who were competition here. And I said, hey, man, just so you know, I quit Dent Wizard and I'm coming back to town. I'm going to be full time. And I'm not going to compete with you. Like meaning I'm not going to go up on your lots. And, you know, like we compete in the retail market, but in the wholesale market, like I'm not going on their accounts and I trust they don't go on my accounts. But there are guys that I do obviously compete with that I'm not friends with. And I have to keep it that way or I won't have any work if I'm friends with everybody. Like, you know what I mean? So, so it's hard. You gotta ask that question, like, how am I gonna compete with people, and what's your code that you're gonna establish, and then I'm gonna follow what that code looks like for how I'm gonna, you know, how I want to compete with you. So,
and it's not just
competition. I use air quotes. I'm like my competition because they're usually my friends or you know somebody I'm trying to help out or vice versa. So I don't really look at it that way per se.
Yeah,
and it's not just competition. It's or competing, you know, against them. It's how you're interacting with them. You know, we can all help each other out, and we've talked about this before. You know, you were wanting to. A couple months back, you called and said you were kind of wanting to do not a tech meetup, but a dinner. Like try to invite all your local techs together just to say, hey, put everything aside. Let's just meet up and get to know each other and kind of work together. And we all have the ones in our markets that are against all that. But then you got so many that just they want that, but they don't know how to reach out or they're scared to reach out. And I think it's good. Like you want to try to do that. I really want to kind of piggyback off of you and do that here. I don't have a ton of techs, but I still try to reach out to them. There's some of the older guys that it's hard to get their numbers and all that too, because they really don't want anything to do with anybody because they think you're wanting to take all their work.
It's that old school mentality. Like it's kind of, I mean, it used to be that way. It was all cutthroat, but I feel like now the industry's kind of coming more around to helping each other out and growing the industry as a whole.
And I think we're different than you know, like mechanic shops and stuff like that. Yeah, they're cutthroat because they're trying to cut prices and body shops and that. They're not really out there to help each other or try to work with each other. And I think that's where we're trying to go as an industry. And I love it, man. I wish it was something easy to do, you know, but it's harder than people may think.
For me, it's really hard to navigate. And I'll tell you why, because I would because we operate in a retail space and we operate in a wholesale space. And the retail, if you're just and again, if someone has new information, they would love to help me. I'm all ears. I mean, I haven't figured it out. This is what I have figured out is what I'm telling you is that in the retail space, it seems easier because you can just sit back and who's ever Google wins or who's ever video wins. And if someone walks in my door, they're my customer. But when you're in a wholesale environment, you're literally there's only so many dealerships. Somebody services that dealership, and you have to decide if you're going to go in there or not, or they have to decide if they're going to come in your dealership or not. It's not like a retail client. It's there's only so many, and so if I host some kind of tech meetup or get together, and I invite all my competitors over and start becoming friends with them, but then next week I'm in an account trying to gain that account, that can be viewed as really bad on my end that I'm trying to get close to you to gain information to stab you in the back. And so I don't want to do that. I would almost rather keep my circle of friends that I won't do that with. And everyone else I can be cordial with, but there's blood, you know, I'm out for blood as far as that dealership.
Business is business. Yeah.
Business is business. And so I really do have difficulty navigating that because I would love to just say, hey man, let's have a tech meetup here. And if you're a Dent guy within 100 miles radius, come over here and let's hang out and let's be friends. But then what am I going to do Monday morning when they're on my account trying to get it, or I'm on their account trying to get it. Like now, you know, and early on in my career, I had a friend who did that. I won't drop his name, but he moved to Jacksonville. We became really good friends. We go to lunch twice a week, and we're talking about this stuff, whatever you talk about at lunch as a colleague. And the next thing you know, he's in my account. So I'm like, hey man, what are you doing? He's like, oh man, well, you know, business is business. And I'm like, yeah, but we just ate lunch yesterday, and I told you, I just spilled all this information to you, and now you're using it against me. And he showed me a side of that, which was, you know, business is business and friends are friends.
Yeah.
And since then, it's just been really hard waters to navigate. And like I said, if I was just in retail, I think that would be different. But probably 70% of what we do is wholesale. And I like I said, I have difficulty navigating how to do that with everyone. I can do that with certain guys, but not broad brush.
Not everyone. Yeah. That's what I was saying. It's a hard thing you want to do it, but it's something that you don't want to cross that boundary. So yeah, you had Facebook user. Hey, before I read that, remember guys, you know, we say it, guys, gals, y'all go to the top of the page or whatever the description, you click the link to grant StreamYard permission so we can see your name. If not, you'll always be Facebook user and you'll be made fun of. So but Facebook user said, Matt, if you ever had to make a choice, wholesale over retail, which would you choose?
Neither. Well, meaning I want both. That's how I'm structuring my business.
Sorry.
Justin Chamberlain, by the way.
That's how I'm structuring my business is that hopefully, like, if you could see a bar graph of when wholesale is up or retail is up, I hope that they would be at different alternating times, and so that we can stay a little bit more level and not have what I do be dictated by what the market's doing as much. A little more diversified. Plus, I think from a tech standpoint, I mean, you know, to me, you know, I'll go to a dealership tomorrow and I'll have 20 wholesale cars I got to go do, and I'm learning speed and efficiency, and then I'll come here and I'll work on a car that has to be perfect on a 20-inch crease on a Bentley that's got to be glass, and I want to know how to do all of it. I think there's really good wholesale techs who struggle with clean retail, and there's really good clean retail techs who struggle with being efficient at wholesale. And it's like if you're in one of those too long, you lose a little bit of edge on the other. And I like doing so. Like, I have retail days and I have wholesale days that I go do Dents. And I want to keep it that way just because I keep my edge. I'm not losing. You know what I mean?
It's hard for me because I'm by myself and have a retail location. Now, back when I was mobile, of course, doing both was definitely, I had to do both. But until I can find somebody, you know, to either train or hire or whatever that can jump on to, I can do wholesale, I can do both, you know, that way the shop's always open like yours. And then you always have somebody on the road, whether it's that person or me, that can take care of those. I can't do both. I've cut it out in the last several months doing wholesale. One, because they've been bringing them here for years, and they still have the mentality, especially with the way car lots are right now, and they don't really have a whole lot, or they weren't selling a whole lot. So I went from 60 cars a month to maybe one, but they still want that wholesale pricing. And just like I had one the other day, and they never called, never did anything. They just came by, dropped it off, two of their guys. Luckily, they have the tag of the car lot on it, so I knew who it was. A couple of days later, I go around it, circle all the dents. This sucker is a Dodge Ram.
I remember this.
I had every panel circled with pretty significant damage, but I didn't circle the tailgate, and I didn't even look at the roof. And I called him. I said, I need to know what you want repaired on this. He's like, well, how bad is it? And I sent him a video walking around the whole thing. He's like, I didn't even see all that. I'm like, how did you not see it? You could even see that on pictures on the internet. And so anyway, I said, well, I'll send you a price. And I just priced it out per panel, kind of wholesale, getting it 75, 80%. And I was just under $2,100. I knew he wouldn't go for it. And
what? I thought it'd be about $200.
Look, never heard anything for all weekend. Monday afternoon, and I know him, but the body shop he uses, cheap little body shop. The guy looks and sounds like Stone Cold Steve Austin, just about 100 pounds heavier. And so that's who I call him, Stone Cold. So he comes and said, hey, I got one I got to pick up from you, don't I? I said, I'm guessing you got to pick this one up because I hadn't heard from him. And I said, I'd like to know if you can do this whole vehicle because you're going to have to repair every panel and repaint this whole truck. If you can do it for the price already quoted for. He got out there. He's like, holy moly. He's like, how much do you quote? I said, just under 2,100. He's like, he said, I'm already over that in cost, but he took it anyway.
Wow.
That's what gets me is, he had, I guess the car lot guy, the owner, I know him. He had this mentality. I guess he thought I was going to do it for a couple $100, this entire vehicle. I'm way past that.
I think of all of them, yeah.
About a year ago, I got that out of my head because I'm by myself at a retail location, and I'd spend a day on a vehicle and make $400. I couldn't do that anymore. But
Matt, Josh Dragos is asking if he can come shadow you one day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There you go.
Drive on up. Let me know.
Making a love connection here on Ginger Bros Dent Show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
About the retail and wholesale thing, man. It's interesting too because I come from a wholesale background. I mean, I've done that forever, and I want to say that's easy. Like I don't mean to sound weird when I say this, but it's like you don't have to really try hard. You can, that's my wheelhouse, and I can do that kind of fairly easily. The wholesale stuff. Meaning getting the accounts, servicing the accounts, doing the work. It's almost, but retail is different. Meaning even just gaining the customer. I kind of attribute it to like fly fishing or deep sea fishing. They're all fishing, but you take a deep sea fishing guy and put a fly rod in his hand. It's way different, and vice versa. And I retail, to get one customer through the door. There's a lot of parts that got to happen for me to get one customer through that door. I mean, there's a series of events that got to happen. Going to dealerships, it's pretty easy. I mean, there's less series of events that have to happen for me, and I've kind of got that nailed down. So, I'm learning how to fish, how to fly fish differently, which is because you have to learn how to reach the customers, to appeal to the customers, to estimate and answer the customers, estimate them, sell them, get them in, do the retail, deliver it. There's a lot of moving parts that you got to do for one client, and so it's just a different game for me that is really interesting, and I really like learning. I like being in an environment where I have to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And if you just put me in a wholesale right now where I've been doing it 20 years and there's not a whole lot to learn. I don't mean to sound weird like that, but I'm saying like it's where that learning curve is really low now. Like I would just die there. Like I want to be somewhere where I have to struggle and figure it out. That's where I like being. And this retail now for me, it's that struggle, so to speak, where you're, there's a lot to figure out that I don't know. That's new for me. Dents are easy. It's just all those other parts that you got to figure out.
I think I like the retail side of it just because I was wholesale, with Dent Wizard and stuff, but going to retail, just the customer satisfaction. You don't have a used car manager telling you, man, that's great. You're like mind blown, so happy and stuff. I like having a customer come in, their mind's blown, they're happy, And to me, that just makes me feel good. It makes me want to strive to push harder, you know?
Yeah. And I'm just going to say this too. Like when my wholesale, listen, I'm not out there begging nobody for work. I'm basically if they want me there, we'll service you. But if you don't want me on your lot, trust me, I'll never come back. Like I'm not out there trying to beg you to get your account and convince you to use me. Like I'll sell you, but once I've sold you, like I'm not out there begging for work. I only want to service dealerships who appreciate and who value what I bring to that equation. And if you don't do that, then that's fine. I can go get Dent somewhere else. Like I'm not groveling for your business.
Oh, that was like I did several estimates today that they drive up every day, but just say 2 of the last 3. One was a newer Mercedes G-Class. Actually, I worked on a previous vehicle for her, but actually AutoNation's body shop sent her my way, gave her a price. She scheduled it right then. The next one was a 2000 model ES300. Chalky paint, had a 1-inch deep dent on the hood, a 1-inch dent on the quarter, and then the side of the bumper where that quarter was, somebody had where it had been hit, and they had kind of molded it back out. I told him, I said, there's not a whole lot that I can do with it. I can try and get a little bit more out, but to me, it really wasn't that bad looking. It was a almost $650 job. He said, okay. So he goes in and books it. Then I have a young kid comes in with a Tacoma, and he bought it with dent in the door and a dent in the bedside. You could see where the previous owner had hit something that scraped all the way down the side. Light scratches. Probably a detailer could really get all that out. He's like, I'm just really focused on this one little dent on the door and then these 2 little dents on the bedside. I'm like, well, that's not a little dent on the door. It goes from the top to the bottom.
They're all little dents.
That somebody had pushed out, so it forced all the metal up, and then 2-inch dent. It was pretty deep. And he put touch-up paint all over this sucker. And then the same thing on the bed. I'm like, that's not 2 little dents. That was a big dent, about 14 inches, that somebody got behind and pushed the middle out. Well, you don't have just like a suction cup thing. And, I was trying to explain everything. He really loved it, and he said several times, man, I really love how you know all this about the metal and stuff like that. I'm like, well, this is what I do for a living, But still, the total job for them 2 panels was over $1,500. And when I told him that, he's like, I said, look, there's cheaper guys around. There's no, I'm not forcing you to book with me. But when I get done, other than your little scratches and stuff, it'll look like nothing ever happened. I can't guarantee that down the road. Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, I got your number. I feel like 30 minutes wasted. It's like 30 minutes wasted, but it really wasn't.
Right. That's what Josh is talking about. Educating the customers on PDRs is a big ass challenge too.
And he'll probably go down the road to a cheaper guy or whatever, or across the bay, and then he'll probably regret it. He may not. So
he might be happy with chewed up cheap.
Listening to Mike Toledo's podcast week before last or whatever, and they were talking about those. Sorry, keep it toilet. He was talking about, just say Google reviews. So you got the mindset of 2 different customers. One, they know you're expensive. In their head, you're expensive, but you're really good. They know the guy down the street is really crappy, but he's really cheap. And it depends on where they're at. If they're rather go towards the cheap, he may get 5-star reviews, but those 5-star reviews are from people who love his pricing and love his quality. They're not your customers who love your pricing and your quality, and think that they're actually getting the value they need. So that's more head trash out of my head the past 2 weeks. I'm like checking some people around here. I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Well, Matt, let's get beyond the PDR. We've talked about PDR for 40 minutes. It could go on about 3 more hours at least about PDR. So what do you enjoy doing when you're not pushing dents or running a successful business?
Well, I'm gonna disappoint some of y'all, but I don't do a whole lot outside of outside of
You're
that.
not. That's not a surprise. That's most people's answer when we ask them on here. So.
Well, I'll give you a little context. So I was on the road from 2013 to 2019. I was on the road full time. I had 1 year I slept in my bed 9 nights.
Oh wow!
In 1 year because I was on the road that whole time. So when I was on the road, we did a lot of hiking. We made it a kind of a commitment to wherever we're at, we're gonna really dig our heels into that area and really try to explore that territory and not take for granted that I'm in a cool city that, want to get outside and go do something. So we did a lot of hiking. I spent a lot of time in Denver. I mean, we spent at least 2 years in Denver, spent a lot of time in Montana and getting out hiking and seeing the area. Did a lot of snowboarding. I do a lot of skateboarding. I used to do more skateboarding. I don't. I'm very injury prone. I've broken both my wrists and my ankles and my legs and my arm. And so I get injured very easily, but a lot of skateboarding, a lot of snowboarding. And but that was easy when I was traveling. And now that I don't travel anymore, I got into training jiu-jitsu. So I actually got into that when I was in Denver. And since I've been home and I'm not on the road, I can be somewhere long-term, like a gym committed, monthly. When you can't do that as a traveling hill guy. It's just, there's no consistency.
Right.
And so now that I'm here, I've been training jiu-jitsu for over 2 years, right at 2 years, let's say. And I do that a few nights a week when I can, as far as like I'm supposed to be there right now at 7 and I'm not.
Oh, dang.
No, it's
messed you up.
But, so I do that. My boys I have 2 boys. I have 4 kids. So let me just go there. I got a 19-year-old daughter, 16-year-old daughter, a 14-year-old boy, and a 13-year-old boy. And
wow,
wonderful wife of 20 plus years.
That's awesome. You just had one of your daughters just had a birthday, right?
Yeah. So my boy turned 13 December 30th, Lincoln, and then my daughter turned 19 January 10th.
Happy birthday,
we just had
kids!
2 birthdays.
Awesome. Yeah.
And so my boys train jiu-jitsu with me too, which is cool. They're almost my size. And so it's really good time for me and them. Like, it's really good all around.
Yeah.
So it's really good because, for one, I suck at it. Like, meaning I told you before, I like the struggle and the fight and like the retail is bringing that. Well, when I started jiu-jitsu, I sucked, and you go there and you literally getting beat up. Every time you show up, you get beat up, essentially, friendly beat up.
Right.
And so I liked starting something new and not knowing anything about it. Dent world, I feel like I've been in it long enough. I have a really good perspective of it, whereas jiu-jitsu is, I know nothing, and I go there and I get beat up and I suck, and it's an environment that you have to want to be in. It's not a friendly, welcoming thing, meaning they're welcoming at my gym, but I mean, I have full-grown man's beard sweat dripping in my mouth and their blood running across my face and chest hair on my face, and what I'm like. It's not a fun thing through that lens. It kind of sucks,
Right.
But it's a good suck, and so I like going to that. And then, like I said, so mentally it's good. It lets me. I throw my phone in my gym bag and I don't look at it. I don't worry about it. It's my time to disconnect from anything associated with this business, which you have to do. It's a time for me to go connect with my boys. They're totally into it. more into it than me, and I can go there with them. We hang out. So like we'll go to jiu-jitsu from 7 to about 9, and then we'll go after that, and we'll go sit in Chipotle, and we'll play
Finger football.
finger football with the tinfoil
Nice.
till about 10 o'clock. And we're not talking about dents. They don't care about dents, and
Right.
so
Yep.
it's just our time. And so that's what I do. And other than that, honestly, it's getting caught up at yard work, or honestly right now it's building stinking carts. Honestly,
Yeah.
all my free time is building those stinking dents.
Those things are
You
sexy
put the
though,
card
man. I
out
love
there,
that cart.
I'm telling you, man. Every weekend, it's not a burden yet, but I'm saying that's my free time is building
Yeah.
carts. And full disclosure, I don't make a whole lot of money off of it. I'm not doing it for money's sake. That's not my motive, and I have my own motives for doing it. But my son, I split it with him. So whatever I make off a cart, I literally hand him cash, and it's better money than he will ever make. At
That's
his
awesome,
age.
man. I like that.
So he helps you with it.
Yeah. I
Helps you
told him.
do
I
it?
said, dude,
Yeah,
if
awesome.
if I'm gonna split it with you, you're helping.
You're gonna earn it.
You're gonna be
Yeah.
with me from ordering everything I order to taking it to the UPS store and shipping it out. Like don't
Awesome.
this ain't gonna be my load, and you're just kind of a little kid helping me. Like if I'm gonna split it with you, then you're in. And so
Right.
if I'm going to UPS
Good.
store, you're going with me. If I'm going to get parts from Home Depot, you're going with me. Like we're 50-50 or we're not. And so it's committing him to it. And it's more time that I can spend out there with him and teaching him skills. And we're drilling and tapping and cutting and
Yep.
and he's a very capable kid now, and a lot of that's attributed to that stuff. So
Yeah, and
You
it'll
wanna go ahead
only
real quick and go ahead, Brandon.
I was just gonna say it'll carry on with him later in
Right.
life. He'll remember that. So
Matt, do you real quick want to throw up a price on those carts? I know I see a lot of like posts on Facebook of people asking price and stuff like that. So this would be a good time if you wanted to kind of let everybody know. And if you guys haven't checked them out, you can go to Matt's Facebook page. They're on what else? You got them on the Mod Rails group. They're on several pages, so check them things out. They're sweet. But
yeah, other guys have been posting them and sharing them on their Facebook pages or their Instagrams too. So I get a lot of hits on that. Alex from Dent Hunters, he just got one. John Vidine just got one. That had like 5,000 views in 1 hour.
oh wow,
Yeah. But they're gaining some traction right now. I'm selling the tops for 800. Most of that is just parts. And so I really want guys to understand, like, there's no claim to fame here with anything unique I'm doing. The mod rails and the pack out system are the magic. All I've done is I found a way to attach the mod rails to the pack out system. I don't do anything with the mod rails, meaning I cut them down, I alter them so that they fit better because they come too long and they only come in one size. So
Right.
I have to alter them so that it all marries well. But I'm just marrying those two things. There's guys, I mean, if you want to do it yourself, I'd be more than happy to kind of show you, but there's a learning curve. I've built probably between 12 and 15 of them, and every one gets better. From the first one I did, it was great, but every one I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna do this next time, and we change them up because so if you want to go build it yourself, be more than happy, you can do it, but I'll tell you, it won't be as good as the one I'm doing. Maybe you can do it better. I don't know.
But it's a lot less headache to just go ahead and let you handle that too.
A lot less headache. I mean, I've kind of got it figured out.
Right.
And
Piggy, what you were saying earlier, you don't really make much off of, and you gave me a breakdown of the pricing and all that of what it all takes for that top piece and what you're charging. I'd rather you just do it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Thank you. So I charge you $800, and then and then I charge you the shipping for whatever it is to get it to yours. I have no idea. I think to send it to Minnesota is like $60, and I sent one to Texas last week and it was $80, and I have no idea why. I mean, I've sent
No
them
rhyme or reason.
$40,
It's
and so I'm already taking it a little bit of a hit on the cost to do it. So like if that's just, I'm just deferring the shipping cost right to you. But you can get in that whole cart. I think the rest of the cart is like on top of what I'm giving you, which is just the top. The rest of the cart, you can buy it on Northern Tool or Home Depot. It's about $400, depending on what you get. And it's to me, it's just a really, really good system.
It is.
I'll have it at the show.
Perfect.
Chris Allen is going to be competing in the Dent Olympics. I'm going to have it loaded up with Dent Slayers. I'm going to have it rolled in there. I'll let if anyone else, if they're competing, if they want to use it, when it's not Chris's time, I'll let you use it too. Go be my guest.
And if Chris wins, he gets a whole Dent Slayer line, right?
Well, he said that, not me. He's gonna get. I don't know what it is. I want to get creative with it, but I told him, I'm like, hey man, if you place, I didn't say you had to win. So if you place in the Dent Olympics, we use on one of my Dent Slayers. I will hook you up and whatever, if that's getting the whole line or if that's getting some custom handles with your color, if I can, convince Maria and John to do that. I'll do something for sure, man. If you can place in the Dent Olympics, I'll throw that to anybody, really.
So
your Dent Slayer is nice. I bought the one from you at Matt's meetup, and I love it. Like I can get a lot of places with it. I like the small tip that's on the end of it with the cherry cap. That thing's freaking awesome. Yeah, that's a great tool. So I'll give it props because I use it, almost daily now since I've bought it. So props to you on that one.
No, go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead.
So Jeremy Smith said, "How would you like to help finalize the collision glue systems cart?" Y'all just need to talk about that.
Yeah. Hit me up, man. I think I'm a couple hours from you, Jeremy. So I would love to help you out if that's something you want me to be a part of. I'd love to do that.
Also, I hadn't talked to you about it. Do you have anything new coming out for MTE? I know you had a few newer tools at Matt's, but
so as far as the Dent Slayer tools goes that A1 manufactures, there's nothing new right now. There's no new rods. Now, some of you guys may or may not know, there's 5 now. There's 2 that released, there's 3 that released on what was it? Black Friday?
Yeah,
it was Black Friday that released, which is the longer XXL, which has a bendable shaft for deep down indoors. And trust me, it freaking works. Bend that sucker, go all the way to the bottom of the door. I've tried doing it unbent and it won't go. You got to bend it, and it goes right. It just goes right to the dent. I did a Super Force the other day, just straight to it. But that XXL, and then we have the short one.
I love it.
And they have a longer foot on it. Tops of doors is sick. Tops of fenders is sick. It's really awesome. And then we have the skinny tip XL, and that takes the 1/4x20 tips. And we came out with a small BB tip that takes a R4. So if we're going in real small holes, and I do too. And y'all can believe me or you can not. And you can ask Josh Dragos if he comes up here and works by me. When I start my day, I put up my cart, I put those 5 tools, and I put 2 whale tails, the blue and the orange, and I run. And I can run through 90% of my day, unless it's some crazy technical retail den. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about my wholesale days. I can run through 90% of my day. Occasionally, I got to run in my van and get something random to get some weird thing. But I can run through 90% of my day with those 5 tools and the two whale tails. I can fenders, doors, quarters, roofs, whatever you want to do. I can do it with those 2 tools. So
it looks like Josh has already got your set too. And he says he's using them daily. So
when he comes up here, I'll show him how I use them if he wants. Like
There you go.
Meaning, I'm assuming other guys are getting creative with, like, as far as where to use it and how to use it. And man, I can use those things anywhere. And there's good tools to me.
I wish I lived closer to you now. I'd love to come shadow you for a day. That'd be a blast.
Let's do it.
Especially in Florida, of all places. Like, let me go get warm for a minute. We've had 2 weekends of snow, so I'd love to be down there right now.
We'll all be down there next week. So
I can't wait. Shorts and T-shirts. That's all that's going on the same day.
It was 39 this morning when I walked outside. I started my van. It was 39 degrees, but then it turned into shorts and T-shirts by the afternoon. So it can get cold here. Now Orlando's 2 hours south. It don't get quite as cold. You can gauge the cold by palm trees. When the palm trees quit growing, that's when it gets cold, because palm trees won't grow in the cold, really. Certain species. So up here, there's palm trees in Orlando that won't grow here, and that's because about Daytona maybe there's just a line there, and it's almost like a different climate. So it does get fairly cold here, colder than it'll get in Orlando.
Don Cavanaugh has no dent
slacking,
slayers,
brother. Yeah, you gotta get some dent slayers.
You better
go over to the A1 booth.
Buy them
go to the A1 booth and make it rain.
There you go. I can give you some suggestions too if you're looking for one to get over the other.
Yep.
There's some favorites now that I like. So
nice.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been impressed. I'm glad you was there with them at Matt's meetup, since I grabbed that one and I love it now. So it's on my daily use tool cart now.
Awesome, man. Thank you. I developed that tool real quick just to touch base on that. I had that tool. It was the first tool given to me when I started. I did not invent that tool, the original Dent Slayer. I've altered it and I've changed it since I've owned it. But it was handed to me. From my understanding, it was bent in a garage by my owner of ADS, who was not a PDR guy. He was just in there bending stuff that he thought looked good.
That's crazy.
He handed it to me, and I've used it literally, every day of my career probably. And I sent it to Bill Hewlett a long time ago, because Bill was making tool carts for me. I had a hail cart that Bill Hewlett Pro PDR was selling when Bill was running it.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent it to Bill, and Bill was going to start duplicating it. And then I think, obviously he sold the company and things changed and that fell through. And I reached out to other companies and never got any traction with doing it. And then I sent it to John and Maria just to get a duplicate for me, because I'm like, man, if I ever lose this thing, I can't fix dents anymore. And so I sent it to them, and I said, just make me a duplicate. That's all I want. Give me a fixed handle, a different handle now. And they made it for me. And John called me. He's like, hey man, this thing's pretty cool. You want to do it? Like, make it and sell it here? And I was like, yeah, heck yeah. And so we kind of talked through that, and they have been awesome. And I really just
great.
I made that tool to have another one for me, but then I just wanted to, I thought the dent community should have it. It's just a good tool. It ain't a magic dent tool. It ain't gonna fix the dents for you, but it's just, to me, it's just one you should own. It's just a good. It's something that served me well in my career, and I just want to make sure other guys had access to it. So
that's awesome of you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you did.
Thanks.
I love your sticker. I love the logo. I got the big skull sticker on the back of my light now and stuff. It just looks badass.
Jesse Hall, man. Oh, look at that. There we go. Jesse, I sent him he was posting something about making logos, and I asked him about making that, because the whole, we just started that with John and Maria, and I was gonna call it the Honey Badger originally. My Instagram was a Dent Slayer. Slayer. That was just my name on that I put on Instagram, and so I was originally going to call it the Honey Badger or something, because it just gets after it. If you were watching the Honey Badger videos, you just can't kill it. And I was like, I'm going to call this thing the Honey Badger, and then John's like, kind of like the Dent Slayer better. And I was like, all right, that sounds good too.
Yeah, rolls off
makes
tongue a little bit better.
Yeah. Jesse
It
makes some
does.
great logos, and I love Jesse to death. Me and him actually went to Dent Wizard training back in 03 together, so we've known each other for a while and still stay in touch. And he's only 3 hours away from me now up there in East Tennessee, so Jesse's
Okay.
a super cool guy.
Yeah, he made that logo, and I told him, I'm like, I'm thinking, late 80s, early 90s skateboarding meets heavy metal. That's kind of me.
And
I see it. I see all of it.
And I gave him a few things. I'm like, skulls, lightning bolts, blah, blah, blah. And I sent him all stuff. And that's what he sent me. And I was like, oh my God.
That's hilarious.
Knocked it out of the park on that one.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at that sticker totally different now. I'm gonna be thinking skateboard than 80s rock bands.
It looks good on a shirt. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, you gonna have any shirts at MTE?
I won't have any shirts. I'm gonna have tons of stickers. I've just been busy, and I sat on it, and so even the shirts that I want to get, like that I like, that I had done before, they can't get them. My supplier can't get them anymore, so she has to go to American made shirt, which is fine. But I don't like the feel of them. They feel a little paper towel-y, And so anyhow, I was just holding off till she could get some of the ones that I like. I like the next level ones,
Yeah.
And so I just kind of sat on it, and now she's backed up and I can't get them. And so yeah, I'm not gonna have any shirts. I'm not gonna have any hats. I'm gonna have stickers.
I want an all-out PDR hat.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, these are pretty cool. These are my chuckers, man.
Yeah.
I can't wear.
I love it. I can't. I love the trucker hats.
See, I'm opposite. I'm all fitted. I can't wear trucker hats. Like I
used to be.
I think it's because I got too big of a damn head, and I got to put it on the last little button, so it's just hanging on by a limb.
I'm on 4.
You have.
Yeah, I'm all the way at the end. I got to get them big head hats.
I like the truckers. They look good to me. I've tried the flex fits. I feel like they get hot and then they get all kind of wore out and loosey goosey. So I like these. Only thing about these, man, these things turn brown I buy them by the dozen and they turn brown because I'm a wholesaler, man. I'm outside and this thing will turn wood brown in 2 months. And and they're good hats, man. They're the New Era's 950. I mean, they're nice quality hats, but the sun just kills them.
Yeah,
I found some fitted hats that are trucker style, so it's fitted, but it's still got the net on the back and stuff, and I love them. Cool. Of course, right now it's too cold for them, but yeah, they did real good this past summer. So I'm a fitted guy.
It's crazy all this weather that's coming through here.
It is.
I mean, I'm seeing about guys and some PDR shops closed through icy roads, and I'm hearing all that, and it's just we live in a different world down here in Florida, man. I'm very thankful. Yeah. That's why someone asked me about being saturated. That's probably one of the reasons why, because it's a love-hate. We don't get the hail down here, so that sucks that we don't.
You might get them through your wholesaler every once in a while, but that's about the gist of it, right?
I mean, we've had. I think the last big storm that came through here that guys might talk about or know about was 09, which was like a really, really big storm. And we've had a couple small little things come through here, but nothing, but we just don't get it. And, but we get that sunshine though.
There you go.
Yeah.
We get the sunshine and we get the hurricanes. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. We haven't had a good hurricane.
Y'all haven't. No.
We get the scares, but we haven't had a bad hurricane. They've all been up, around Gulf and y'all's way.
We gotta get with Christopher Allen to show us how to clean some hats. Christopher, we'll be on that at MTE. You gonna have a seminar on that shit? Education day, Christopher Allen.
You gonna clean the brown fade out of the hat, Christopher Allen? You show me that.
He's got a can of dye.
Painted black.
I fixed it. You might get a little high.
He's gonna have his touch-up kit in there.
Yeah, right.
I'll just hand you a Sharpie.
Yeah,
color it in yourself.
I'm getting busy wearing this hat.
We're just over an hour, so we don't like to go too far over. Only Don Cavanaugh we've gone an hour and a half, but
oh dang.
And we just couldn't stop that, man. He was on it. We was like, let it roll. Let's go.
and Matt's the same way. We could probably sit here and just gain tons of knowledge and stuff like that.
Very easily.
Yeah, we like to kind of keep it right at an hour. So
That's
hey,
what I didn't even want to stop talking about PDR at like 6:30. You know what I mean? I was like, we can keep on talking about this, but
Well,
we got to learn about Matt too on the other side of it. So
Yeah.
it didn't take long to get right back to it. So
right, it's
Exactly.
funny how that works. We'll get plenty of that next week.
Well, yeah, Matt, man, we appreciate you coming on, dude, and can't wait to see you down there and hang out with you again and you guys and stuff. Tell them to take off work and come on down.
Yeah, we're gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There'll probably be about maybe 7 or 8 that we're gonna be like in our crew. That's gonna all kind of commute down there. 5 of them work with me. 2 other guys are just here in town. They're hill guys that I know. And
Stratton.
No, that he works with me.
Okay.
Yeah, Stratton will be there. And then Jesse, Jeff, guy named Brenton, buddy Chad, Dave Swires. We'll all be down there.
Nice.
Yeah, we all have a good little turnout. I can't wait, man. This one's just going to be
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a different MTE from where, I mean, for me, you know, I know just to go ahead and end your show, but you know, 2 years ago I was with Dent Wizard. It was the last time I was at MTE, or just after. I just quit Dent Wizard, and I was at MTE. You know, 2 weeks later, whatever that was. I quit in January.
I did the same thing a year before you. So
it was a different. This is just a whole different one. I mean, we've grown a lot as a company with the tools and with everything that's going on. I'm excited. I'm super excited. I think other guys have the same vibe as me, probably.
Same here. Like you just told my story, but like I said, I'm just a year early. Like last time I went was 2 weeks after leaving Dent Wizard, so it's kind of like going to be one of them I'm pumped about too. So
yeah.
Well, I know right now I've never been, so it's going to be like extremely crazy. You know, 1 being my first one, but 2 with the show and everything else going on. I'm you know, helping set up cleanup crew for the Olympic at the end. I mean, it's a lot going on. It'll be fun though. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to soak it all in. Yeah, it'll.
How'd you draw that straw? The cleanup crew.
Mr. Bird.
It's Birdman.
I didn't draw it. I was just told I was on it.
Okay. He seen my work. He didn't ask me, and I'm fine with that.
I have to make sure I get my tools out there early.
Right?
Yeah. No, I mean like clean up Dent. Like clean up.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you can leave your
no,
tools
I'm
there
getting them out there.
out.
I don't want all that.
Oh man. Well, heck, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
Oh yeah.
It truly is. I mean, if you look at what's happened in the last 2 years, just in the Dent community, as far as faces that have come and gone and come up from, you know, there's a lot of new faces that that I've seen in the last 2 years. It's just a different industry. It's the same industry, but it's just evolved, you know. And I just think that's exciting. I really do.
It's evolved a lot, and I think social media has got a big thing, to do with all that, because it's getting more people out there. And the last probably 2 years, I've seen more out there on social media, so that have been in it for a little while, you know. So I know, right?
Nichols, you know, he's new to the game, and he's putting up stuff like he's doing. So you got new faces like that coming along, and just better in the industry as a whole too.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, in the years past, when you go, you're really just connecting with guys you might have went to school with, or guys you might have seen on the road, and you're meeting people there, or maybe guys you met last year. Now I'm literally just going to meet guys that I've talked to all year, you know, over the last 2 years, and guys that I'm friends with that I've just never met. Like I've never shook hands with Chris Allen, and me and him are good friends.
Right.
You know? So like, it's just social media has opened up so much for us in this industry, and this, when you go now, it's it's not the same experience because you're going there connecting with people that you've been connected with. You've just never connected on that level, right? Like
Right.
it's all morphed and evolved. And I've got like Josh Dragos and James Bernard, Don Cavanaugh, all these guys. Like I'm interested in meeting. They probably know me from some social, and I know them from social, and it's just been this long distance relationship that never really got to shake hands. And so I think it's going to be fun and interesting to go down there, and I'm wear my name tag and my Dent Slayer shirt, and I want to just shake hands with everybody and talk with them. And
I wish I had time. I'd make me a shirt that's got a big name tag on it.
Hi, this is Brandon.
Instead of just some ones like, "Hi, I'm new to MTE."
That's like we get to finally meet Kevin Bird. Like we talked to him, at least 2 or 3 times a week, and it's like we've known each other forever and hadn't never met in person. So kind of like bouncing off of you. That's gonna be really cool. I can't wait to meet him and shit everybody.
I should be working the A1 booth with them, with John and Maria, if they'll have me. That's my offer to them, is I'm standing there and as much as possible. And so I will be looking forward to that opportunity. Not even just to talk about my tools. I honestly care less about that, but just to talk to people and meet them and everybody who comes through there. I know that'll be a heavily visited booth, so I'm anxious for that.
Well, there's over 3,000 people already signed up, so
yeah, it's insane.
Yeah,
I guess I should have made more stickers.
That's not all
call you sticker guy.
Still,
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll run through there with the koozies and stuff like Mardi Gras. We'll just be throwing them out.
Yeah, just
may have to add some moon pies or something. I don't know.
Well, detailing. I mean, honestly, you got to have Restore Effects down there, and you're going to have the detailing side has grown, and so it's going to be a different MTE than what it was years past. I mean,
right.
You've got Radio Row, which is not just for the PDR podcast, but for the detailing podcast too. It's for all of them. So it's pretty cool that we'll have our own stations to be able to go in and out of and host, shows. And it's just, it's going to be different. Yes, my first one, but I've seen a lot of pictures and heard about a bunch of them in the past, but this one's going to be epic, So
real quick before we get off too, I said I was going to say, if you guys listen to us on Apple Podcasts, go ahead and give us a review. We appreciate it if you go out there and just throw us one up real quick. I don't know what it does, but I like reviews, obviously. So let's go ahead and get some reviews if we can. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, Apple Podcast, or if you're on Podbean and downloading it from there, you can do them there. So just give us some
YouTube,
love. That's all we ask about.
This show is on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, it'll be on there as soon as I get off here.
But it won't be in video form, right? It'll just be on the audio.
No, just audio. Video's hard.
It's like an extra, and it's an upcharge for video on there and all that.
It is, but most of us, when you listen to the Apple Podcast, you're doing it while you're working, so you're not going to be able to watch it. So it's a lot more expensive to do that, to have the video part of it. So we're like, nope, we're not.
Everybody's got Facebook. You can always go back and watch the replay. So
there you go.
So we got Facebook, got it on YouTube. Like I'm watching on YouTube right now while we're doing this. It's live on there. You can always go back on our YouTube channel. Of course, our Ginger Bros Facebook, PDR interviews, and then you got Apple Podcast, Podbean. I think that's it right this second, but that's enough.
Yeah. Sounds like full plate, bro.
Yep. Yeah, hey, thanks to everybody that's watching, and what? I didn't know you were. Yes.
Yeah, that was
James.
Come on, James.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
We're on podcast. Go like it, Ginger Bros Dent Show.
Yeah.
It's got our big logo. These ugly mugs behind us.
Ugly mugs. Whoa, worst.
So, but again, come see us, MTE. Get your koozies, get your stickers while they last. Go visit Matt. Go visit A1. All the tool vendors, guys, but Dent Slayer Tool. Of course, our sponsor, Collision Glue Systems. You don't want to miss that. Get you some of that glue. See how it works. Andy's mom's watching. Thanks, Phyllis.
Thanks, Mom. Love you.
She is not a Facebook user. She is her own self. So, but yeah, again, Matt, thank you for coming on. We had a
appreciate
blast.
you, man. It was awesome.
I
And-
really appreciate you guys having me. Appreciate the opportunity always.
Yeah.
I love this industry. I love talking about it. I love being a part of it. And so any opportunities I get like this, I am thankful and blessed to be involved in for sure.
Awesome.
Well, we appreciate it, buddy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna back us all out of here again. I'm gonna end the broadcast. Just hang on for a second. We'll say goodbye after this. So again, thank y'all for watching, and we are out.
Later, everybody.